to a new world of gods and monsters. He's alive!
Here's Johnny.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, I'm telling you, brother, it's a frightful sight. See what goes on Halloween night.
And we are back for another edition of Why We Love Horror. If you missed us last week, we talked The Last Voyage of the Demeter. So if you haven't watched it, go watch that because that was an awesome conversation. John, Melissa, how are you both doing today?
Doing great. Showing school spirit. Melissa, how you doing?
Much better than last week. So sorry. But yeah, no, I'm happy to be here.
How are you, Mike? You're happy to be here.
Yes. Well, today we're going to be talking about The Faculty.
Critics are calling it hip and scary. A thrilling ride from beginning to end. The Faculty.
Please report to the principal's office.
John, why don't you take us in on it?
Well, The Faculty, I mean, we're coming up on The Faculty being technically vintage, guys. So if you don't feel old yet, it's coming soon. In the next few years, this will be over 20 years old, this movie. So anyway, Faculty is basically, and interrupt me if I'm going off base here. It's basically, and they say it in the movie, it's kind of an homage to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just on a much smaller scale. Definitely higher stakes in the sense of the way they're talking about it, because if this were to go unnoticed, they would definitely just take over the whole world. But it's basically an alien invasion movie, but it's an Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie. We got a ragtag bunch of kids, like the Breakfast Club versus aliens. And that's basically what The Faculty is. And everybody's in this freaking movie.
It is 100% Breakfast Club with aliens. I was noticing that this last time I was watching, I went, this does have a lot of Breakfast Club vibes to it with these characters.
All the Breakfast Club characters are there. Except for the principal's like a sassy lady.
True.
Melissa, what did you think? Overall thoughts of The Faculty?
Yeah, this was actually only my second time watching it. I watched it for the first time just only a few years ago. And it seems like I don't even know kind of how I missed it, but I did. Because it's very much, it's written by the folks who did Scream. So, and you can definitely kind of see that here a little bit. And I love any kind of film that's set in high school with teens. That's usually a type of movie I like, and then obviously if you add horror to it, yes please. So but yeah, no, I this is just a fun movie. It's not like the greatest movie I've ever seen, but it's definitely not the worst, and it definitely keeps you entertained throughout, I would say, especially with the sci-fi kind of horror elements that they got going here.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think the interactions between the characters are so much fun. The kills are very entertaining, and the cast is fucking crazy in this movie. It has some of my favorite Who Are Those People in this movie, and I absolutely love it. John, what did you?
Yeah, go through that cast. First, obviously behind Melissa, you got that's Shauna Tosi in the corner. Not that anybody knows who that is, but Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Jordana Brewster, Clea Duvall. Then your teachers, you got Jon Stewart's in there, Piper Laurie's in there, BB Newirth is the principal. Did I say Jon Stewart already?
Yeah, Jon Stewart.
Patrick is the football coach. Usher Raymond is going to this school. Come on. Everybody's in this fucking movie. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, probably my favorite, if you want to call it a cameo or appearance, is probably Piper Laurie. She just has a presence about her, and obviously from Carrie, terrifying. So you just kind of know something's up with her right off the bat just because of her. So I think the casting is very on purpose. With Robert Patrick too. It kind of just, the casting alone is okay, something's up with these teachers.
It has
be a slightly more jocular T-1000 in this movie, which is fun.
Yes, and it has my favorite known to be asshole character in a movie, Christopher McDonald. The dude plays a perfect fucking asshole in every fucking movie he's in, and he's fucking perfect in this as the asshole dad.
Take his porno. They take his porno away.
Yeah, I mean the cast definitely I think is a big factor to this movie in regards to like I don't know, just I like this movie just because of the cast. Like that's a part of it for me at least. I don't know about you all, but so I guess how do you feel about the characters that they portray?
I left out Laura Harris. I'm sorry, Laura. But yeah, the characters, like I said, if you like The Breakfast Club, if you like any 80s teen, high school, whatever, you're gonna love it because you get to be like, which character am I? And we'll get into which characters we are later. But yeah, I mean, like it's basically it starts as like a color by numbers high school coming of age drama bullshit, and then they genre bend it and they give you everything else you want too. So it's good. But I'm not gonna say much more, Mike.
Yeah, no, I absolutely watch this movie to just hang out with these characters for 90 minutes. Like, it is so fun just going back to revisit and just follow these characters on this insane journey that they go through and see their interactions before and after the aliens show up, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's fair to say that these characters aren't like, the most fully fleshed out characters you've ever seen in film, but like at the same time I think they're fleshed out enough and you are kind of cheering on folks or not, and yeah, I think it just adds to the fun of the story.
All the characters are archetypes, but they're archetypes like
yeah,
like Sean Tosi, he's a jock, but he wants to be smart. And Casey is a nerd, but he wants to be a hero. Zeke is a loser, but he wants to be smart. Yeah, everybody is something but something else, which is great.
No, totally. Do we want to move into spoilers to kind of go through the plot and the kills?
Okay, let's do that.
Let's throw it up. All right. So what are some like standout scenes from the faculty?
Okay, I will say it's the beginning of the movie, but it's the interaction between Robert Patrick and Stan. And just like he's such a fucking dick to him. He goes, "Get rid of the rock." He goes, "You either put this team in front of you or get the fuck off my team." just leaves him there. And then I just love the fact that everyone kind of changes in this movie. But they give him a little nicer version of him, but he's still an asshole. Even when he changes into the fucking parasite, he's still a jackass. He's still a fucking asshole to these people, but he's kind of nicer.
Welcome to the 1990s where you can get away with that. Football coaches can't talk like that today. You cannot tell a kid to get the fuck off your field. You will lose your job. Okay, don't do that.
And he fucks with Elijah Wood too. He goes,
"Yeah."
Oh, he goes, "I only do it when I have to run for something." He goes, "Run for something. I like that." And then he, get out of here. Fucking lets him fucking run away. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, no, I love that quote. It's like it's something like I only run if I'm being chased.
Yeah, if I only run.
It's like, okay. Foreshadowing.
He's going to get chased a lot in this movie.
And then I do love that John Stewart's character is named Edward Furlong. Like, there's so many like Easter eggs of like, and not really even Easter eggs, they're pretty apparent, but like references to other movies and like horror kind of things. What are some of your guys' favorites or ones that you noticed?
John Stewart's probably like one of the best characters in the movie because he's pretty much playing John Stewart. If John Stewart was your biology, 100%. I think when they drop the parasite into the tank and it bites him, he's like, "Son of a bitch!" cursing in front of the kids and like bleeding. Yeah, and then when he comes back as one of the I guess parasites faculty, and that whole fight scene, which is awesome for it's a great action scene for a 90s teen horror movie. And then the little Easter egg in the end of the movie when they show and John Stewart and he's got the iPad. That's great.
I do love the Thing homage with the blood test, but this time they're doing the fucking caffeine drug. It's so fucking good. And Elijah Wood is so fucking high during half of it. Is fucking hilarious how
they make Elijah Wood do so many drugs in this movie. Oh boy.
Yeah, I do like the concept of like that they have to get high to like save the day, basically. And like if you get high and like, turn into the alien or whatever, it's like that. I like how that's kind of the mechanism that's like Either like you're on the good side or the bad side type of thing. Is like, gotta get high to survive.
Like, what is it, in Signs, what is the alien's weakness? Oh, water, and they land on a planet full of water. What's the alien's weakness in this? It's a synthetically marketed drug made by some loser in his garage. That's the weakness of the aliens in this movie.
Yeah, one of the other like references I really liked is they're kind of talking about like the conspiracy of all this and like aliens, and Elijah Wood's characters like references like all these different directors a part of the like conspiracy, like Spielberg, Emmerich, and it's just like, yes.
They're just preparing us. They were trying to prepare us for what was going to happen.
Which I will say, this movie does hit slightly different that now that we know that aliens are real. Like, how did you guys think about that?
Well, if we'd only listened to Roland Emmerich sooner.
Yeah, I guess any kill scenes that kind of stand out for y'all.
I mean, it's weird to call them kill scenes in this movie because I'm not sure anybody actually really. I mean, I guess a few people do die because some people and it's weird. Like, I guess this isn't like a criticism of the movie. It's just not explained. Like, some people are turned into aliens by just being infected, and some people are just outright murdered and they come back as aliens. So like, I don't know. Like, there's a disconnect here with how it works because like when they turn Principal Drake, like they stab her to death. Yeah. And everybody else just gets like implanted with the parasite, So not a criticism, just weird.
No, that's completely true. Which I have kind of a criticism with that towards the end of the film, but I'll save that for now. I will say a scene I really like is when Jon Stewart's character is like starting to turn and they like stab him in the eye. Like, that's probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great one.
Yeah, there's some really good practical. I mean, there's some good CGI effects for the 90s. Actually, it's really good CGI for the 90s, and there's some really good practical effects too. Yeah, I mean, I guess the CGI gets a little weird with like the thing shit they do, like with everything has ventricles and stuff. But like, that's the only real like CGI criticism I had. And given the time period, it's not bad.
Yeah, when it's practical, I really really like it. Especially at the end of the film when we kind of see the full alien queen or whatever. Like, I really liked seeing that practical. But again, some of the like with like the ventricle stuff, like I don't love that. It's not my favorite. It kind of takes me out of the film, especially because I think if maybe I saw this when it came out, or I don't know, just during the early 2000s, I feel like I might have a little bit more nostalgia for it and would like, I don't know, be nicer to it, I guess, or love it more or something. But I think just because I've just seen it in the last few years, I'm kind of like, it's kind of corny at times with like CGI and some of the dialogue for sure too. But overall,
it's definitely Kevin Williamson dialogue though. It's 100% like, he's there. We're Dawson's Creeking this shit right up. That's what it is.
I guess, what did you all think about I guess our main antagonist, or like who we find out who is the kind of the queen of the aliens? What did you guys think about that? I do love
that they really put it a lot on, for the characters wise, they put it a lot on Robert Patrick's shoulders, of them thinking as Robert Patrick most of the fucking time, and then the principal as well. But having her reveal of being this nice girl, and then she comes in and she's just really sweet to everyone, but she kind of has a bad side, especially when it comes to Josh Hartnett throughout the movie. And then she just fucking appears when she's in the pool, and then she gets out, and then she fucking sees she appears with Josh Hartnett telling her that Stokely is one of them, and she's fucking naked, and he's looking at her going, why you knew?
It's a big criticism of the movie. I mean, obviously, when a movie, it's kind of like a whodunit, which basically it kind of is. Like, it kind of loses a little bit of the punch on rewatch. But like when you've seen the movie and then you watch it critically a second, third time, you're kind of like, okay. And like her being the big bad is kind of like where the movie does fall apart a little bit. But I'll get into that when I fix
it. Yeah, I will say on this, because again, this was only the second time I've seen it. I did kind of catch more. It's like when we first meet her, she makes a comment that's like, yeah, I feel a little alien here or something
Yeah.
like that. I definitely caught that like
Yeah.
on this rewatch, which like I appreciate that. But yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like sure, whatever. I'm fine with her being kind of the alien queen or the hive mind of it all, but at the end of the day, it's like it's whatever. Like I don't know. I wasn't like blown away by it, but I didn't think it was like the best thing ever. I will say I do like that the mascot is called the Hornets because again this alien kind of works as like a hive mind type of mentality, which I kind of tend to like those kind of like bad guys or things in movies where like there's like a hive mentality to it. It's kind of obvious how you defeat it though. It's like, oh, you just find like the main person and defeat it. But I still think it's a creepy concept of like all these people like gathering and you know on for the attack type of thing. I do think it's like an effective like paranoia thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I will say with that final kill of her as a creature stuck between the bleachers, I love that they come full circle with Elijah Wood hearing Josh Arnett say "guaranteed to jack you up" and fucking uses it right before he stabs the shit out of her. Just fucking destroys the ultimate line there, "guaranteed to jack you up."
Yeah, the whole final chase is actually a very well crafted. It's I mean the fact that he utilizes like the collapsible bleachers to trap the creature and is actually, and he gets infected at the last second, but obviously he does it just in time. I think that's actually very well shot, very well done. Whoever like wrote that, kudos. I don't know if Kevin Williamson wrote that action that way or if that's choreographed that way, but whoever wants to take credit for that, hit me up. I'll give you all the credit. That was well done.
Because I would agree, and I also like the practical effects like on Elijah, like because it the like things like I don't know slip up in his cheeks or whatever, but then they kind of pop out. But it really works. Like I appreciated because it seemed like maybe it was a mix of CG and practical, but it seemed more practical than not.
It feels practical. I would think. He probably had like a prosthetic that the stuff was just pulled out of his face. Or shot in reverse, or I don't know. It was something. It was probably prosthetics being pulled out because it looked real to me, at least as a professional, looked real.
Do you guys have any other kind of positives or things you really liked about the movie?
I will say to continue on with the paranoia aspect, I love the conversations where they bring up the little thing like, when do you start wearing glasses, or when do you become a professor? Like, why do you become a smart now? Like they give each other little hits of what they're doing right before Jon Stewart interrupts everything and all hell breaks loose. But they're giving each other little shit throughout it.
Speaking of characters changing, you know who I left out? I left out Famke Janssen too. Sorry.
Yes.
Janssen. But like her as like a nerdy, unattractive teacher.
Yeah, I know I just asked you all about positives, but okay, I'm gonna get into some negatives really quick because you brought her up. That's like a big part of the movie I don't like is like because like her character and Zeke have like this weird like sexual tension in it.
He's like 19 though, so it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They do bring up that he is technically held back.
Okay.
He was held back and he's a senior, so it's implied he's over the age.
Okay, maybe I didn't really like hone in on that as much, but I was just like, I don't know. This seems problematic.
It's still against the law.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah.
But he's of age. He's of age.
Also, Josh Hartnett's haircut. I mean, it's up there with like Gale Weathers. Like I'm just saying for Scream 3. Like it's a rough cut. I don't know what's going on, but I do love it.
I'm gonna hide my high school pictures then because I kind of had that when I was like 15. But we'll just pretend I didn't say that. Cut that out when you edit.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of those things where it's like iconic, but I do love it. No, going into some positives, something we haven't talked about is the soundtrack. The soundtrack's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if y'all know me a little bit, I love Pink Floyd. So I love the Pink Floyd Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 cover. Yes. And then like we get the roll call at the beginning in like the Pink Floyd The Wall font. I'm like, yes. What did you guys think of the soundtrack?
I do like the little care they did introducing all the main characters, like with the the pauses and everything. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know much to add on that. It's very well done. I think more movies should do that if it fits.
Yeah, I do love a good roll call. like in a movie.
Yeah.
I'm about that.
Yeah, the score and
I-
soundtrack
yeah.
are amazing in this.
To double down on my Famke Janssen comment, I also like having Selma Hayek in a movie and she just wears a nurse's outfit the entire time. And also, good on you guys. Good on you guys for not using Selma Hayek. I can't remember who else was talking about.
What were you gonna say, Mike?
Oh, that the score and soundtrack are amazing, and I love. And John brought it up earlier, but the end credits, I love the end credits where it just goes over the cast and they're all fucking smiling after all hell broke loose, and it's just showing them happy. Like they do it with Con Air, which I think Con Air does it perfectly, with all just fucking happy and smiling. Just cut. Especially the Jon Stewart one is the best one because he has a fucking eye patch.
Yeah,
Like he got
yeah.
fucked up, and his fingers all fucked up too. Like it's so good.
Yeah, and it seemed like they all had probably a really good time filming this.
Oh yeah.
But any, I guess, like transitioning, what are maybe some more critiques or negatives, would you say?
I don't want to let everything out of the bag. Like
Okay.
my normal, without going into detail, like my normal critique of movies like this is like, if you want to be like an S tier horror movie of any subgenre, you've got to have your shit straight. Like you're everything that you're telling us about the antagonist needs to make sense, and like they have to be like if the goal of the alien is to assimilate humanity, like that should always be the primary goal, which doesn't seem to be in this movie, and I'll get into exactly the points where they kind of stray from that later on.
Okay.
I will say the only main thing that I probably have an issue with is what we brought up earlier, which is when a character like Famke Janssen getting her head basically taken off and then it's brought back and she's still fucking alive at the end is kind of insane.
Yeah, there's no real consistency of like what kills them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like, clearly like when they get Principal Drake and they shoot her and she's still alive kind of, but she's like dead, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can obviously chop these things into little pieces and they're fine. But Famke Janssen gets her head cut off and then they do the whole like, you know, I'm walking around and my head's over here. Like old gag.
Yeah, no, I mean that's probably the biggest problem I have as well, is just like, yeah, the consistency. I know I had asked for kills, but like, yeah, it's like who really was a kill? Like, I don't fucking know. Like it's more like who got attacked. Cool, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But probably my biggest problem I had with that is Delilah's character, because she is a bitch. And like her character like sucks, and to be honest, I like wanted that character to die. So like when I thought she did die, I was super happy. I was like, cool, great. And then like she comes back fine and gets Elijah. Like I was pissed. I was like, I hate this so much. Like I don't want her to have a happy ending. Like she
learned what was really important.
So I don't know, that ending really bothered me with that character. And then also with Stokely's character of like, why does she have to dress all girly now? Like, why is it like because she got a guy? Like that's just like annoying to me. Like, why isn't she like still herself and like her aesthetic and get the guy? Like, why can't it be both? I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's the same criticism people have for Breakfast Club as well. It's the same type of criticism, and I get it. I completely get it.
Just be yourself and love each other for yourselves. Like, God.
It's just great that our short king Elijah Wood gets the girl at the end. Like, yeah, he gets a girlfriend that's like 6 inches taller than him, and that's an inspiration for lots of kids in the 90s, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I love Elijah Wood. He's probably my favorite character from the movie, and you know, it's fun to see a final boy because we get a lot of final girls, and he's kind of like semi final boy because obviously, like we just talked about, everyone kind of comes back just fine. So
we did talk about this before we got on the air, and we don't know Mike's answer to this question. So, Mike, which kid are you?
Fuck, that's honestly hard because it's not a clear character.
You're
I
allowed
guess
to combine. You're allowed to combine.
Yeah, I would say probably a little of Casey and Zeke, little by little.
I'm also a Casey / Zeke. That's
yeah.
And I'm a Casey / Stokely, so I guess we all have a little Casey in us.
Yeah, I enjoy taking pictures and running.
I will say a little fun character moment that cracks me up every time is Stan wanting to get more into studies and shit like that. And then in the class, he goes, yeah, well actually on this chapter, the fucking teacher does not give a fuck at all.
He's drunk.
Yeah. Fucking turns it. No one gives a shit. He just wants to be smart. He just wants to be known for his fucking smart. But the teacher does not give a fuck.
He keeps his alcohol in the cabinet, and Delilah's like, I exposed that last semester. Everybody knows alcohol.
It's so good.
Well, was there any other points you all wanted to bring up before John fixes this movie?
I think we hit all the major things, yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I can fix it.
How did the aliens lose? How the fuck did they lose? You had it. Like, okay, the one scene that ruins this movie, it doesn't ruin it. It doesn't make it a 1-star movie, but the one scene that ruins this movie is Mary Beth has Zeke alone in the chemistry supply closet. He's clearly the linchpin to like ruining your plan. Kill the motherfucker. You're alone. Right?
That's true.
And then when she's alone with Stokely, they're alone for like 10 minutes. And they're just hanging out having girl talk. Dude, you're alone. Kill Stokely. Like, kill her. Like, if I'm an alien and like it's your tragic alien story. Like, my planet has been ravaged and I'm gonna take over your planet. That should be your prime directive. Like, boom, 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 boom. Or at the very least, edit those scenes out of the movie. Like, once it's revealed like that she is the big bad, there should be no, like, it should just be like beeline straight through. Also, science fact, chlorinated water will dry you out. She should not be able to dive into a pool and survive. Just so everybody knows, there should be
That's true.
If the aliens are surviving in water, don't go into a chlorinated pool. That's ridiculous. Don't do that. Aside from those minor points, which I would have taken out of the movie, this is a great movie. I think those things, in retrospect, kind of bring it down, but that is how I would fix it.
Yeah, no, I think those are all like fair points. And again, I think this is definitely like one of those movies. If you start like thinking about it a lot, it's like, okay, this doesn't really make sense. This doesn't, it kind of all unwinds.
Still enjoyable, but like when I put a critical eye on it, no.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Any thoughts on that, Mike?
No, they're all valid criticisms. Especially, I didn't even think about the swimming pool. It is fucking bad.
I know that shit will dry your skin right out. That should have killed her when she dove in the pool. Kevin Williamson looking at you. Don't do that shit. Well, Melissa, you got any behind the scenes facts for us?
I do indeed. Let's get it. Okay, it paused on my end, so I don't know if that worked. Okay, cool. So this movie, as we kind of talked about before, Kevin Williamson did the script. He actually, so it sounded like there was a script back in like the early 90s. So he got hired on to kind of like punch it up and like get that teen dialogue better, because that's what he was kind of known for at this point in his career. And he actually was set to direct it. Which is interesting, but he turned it down for his I can't remember. It's something like Mr. Tingle or something.
Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
Yeah. So that's what he did instead. Bombed at the box office.
What a great decision.
I do find it really funny that Jordana Brewster, like, at the time was also filming Fast and the Furious, and she at the time thought like this was gonna be to like really take off her career. She thought The Faculty was, and she kind of has described the Fast and the Furious as her fun summer project.
What a great decision.
So it's just funny to see like kind of the opposite is what happened. Like that, that franchise kind of took off this one was successful, but enough. But you know, it was nothing compared to like I would say the Fast and the Furious franchise. And then another thing that I thought was interesting is to get more money for the budget. Robert Rodriguez, he actually did some Tommy Hilfiger commercials to like get some more money for the movie, and in the commercials was the cast, like the main cast in the commercials for Tommy Hilfiger. So those were some of the fun. Sorry, I had
splice those ads in.
I did have one more actually. The group that was involved with the practical effects is this. It's the KNB EFX group, and they were involved with like things like Evil Dead 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Halloween 5, and some other things as well.
They did that Greta death scene in Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Well, sign me up.
So yeah, those are some of the facts I was able to find for this one.
I like that. Those are good ones.
Well, there's only one question left to ask, man.
Yeah, I guess we got to ask it.
Yeah.
Is this a quintessential great fucking movie? Goddamn right it is. It's 5 stars. This movie is truly a Mike fucking special. It's got the kids versus aliens. It's got great kills. It's got a great soundtrack, and it's just got the fun overall theme and fun times throughout. I absolutely love it. I've watched it ever since it came out in theaters, and I've rewatched it over the years, and I love it just as much as I did when I first saw it. It's 5 VHS tapes for me, full on. Let's go to Melissa. Melissa, what did you rate this movie?
Yeah, you know, this is just a fun movie. You know, it's not gonna like change your life, I don't think, but maybe it will. I don't know. But I give it 3.5. I think it's a good attempt at like a teen sci-fi horror satire type of thing. But I don't know. It doesn't like fully like stick the landing for me. But like I really like the practical effects, and the soundtrack rocks, and the cast is like, it's hard to get much better than this for 1998, I believe. Yeah. So it's a good time. Enjoy. Yeah.
I like that. And John, what did you think?
I'm in total agreement with Melissa. This is like a movie I like, you know, but it's like it's not like I love it, and it's just like in the lower end of things I like. So it's 3.5 for me as well. 1998, I was already in college. James Vanderbeek had left Drew University, so I was no longer going to school with James Vanderbeek at that time. But Kevin Williamson made this movie, so it made me feel like James was still around. So, you know, it was like having that spirit around even after he left. Yeah, Mike's right though. This is a fun movie. This is like you guys remember the 90s? This is what it's all about. Movie, put this shit on, and then like, you know, so we'll still be doing this years and years from like, oh, look at the 90s. Weren't they a wild baller time? Look at Usher, man. Those things so cool. Why put the faculty
I like that. And as we close this out, we asked the question today: what is a back to school or a college, high school, doesn't matter what horror movie would you recommend? Let's go Melissa first. What would you recommend?
Again, I'm a sucker for like a movie set in a school. Like I just love that. And the one that I would probably recommend and probably love most is Jennifer's Body. I mean, it's about, you know, a newly possessed high school cheerleader that is now eating boys, and it's a great bisexual kind of empowerment movie, which I love. And yeah, Megan Fox is just fantastic, and I mean I like all the performances in that movie, and also a really good soundtrack as well.
That is a very fun movie. I love that movie so much. John, how about you?
Yeah, fun fact, Jennifer's Body shares a song with A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, and I don't acknowledge that song is in Jennifer's Body. It's only in A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. But a movie set of the school, you say? What if it's just like a fact about the movie that has nothing to do with the movie? Let's talk about Raw, because Raw takes place at a school technically. they're in class in several scenes in the movie. But that movie, holy shit, have you seen Raw? If you haven't, you should go watch Raw. Don't eat before you see Raw.
Yeah, no, that movie is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it did make me incredibly nauseous, and like I couldn't eat for at least 5 hours after that movie. So
If
I
that's
agreed.
an endorsement, I don't know why you're not pause this video, go watch Raw and come back.
But it's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's worth the nausea.
Yeah, true. If you throw up once, it's worth it. Like, if you throw up 5 times, it was a mistake. But if you throw up once, you can handle it.
Yeah, that movie is insane in the best way possible. I love that movie as well. And I will end it by saying the movie Freaky with Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton, a movie where a deranged fucking serial killer does a Freaky Friday and switches bodies with a teenage girl in high school, and all insanity ensues, horror and comedy-wise. Perfect blend of horror and comedy. It's by Christopher Landon, who also did the Happy Death Day movie, so if you enjoy those, you will definitely enjoy this movie. Yeah,
Ricky has the best self-referential line in recent history, where one of the characters remarks that the other character is black and he is gay, so they are going to die.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
Other than that, this has been the faculty episode. Do what you always do. Go like and subscribe our shit. We love doing this every week with you guys. And next week, we're going to be talking about, John, why don't you bring up what we're going to be talking about next?
Yeah, another recent release that it kind of went under the radar a little bit. Not many people are talking about it. We're going to talk about Cobweb next week. So if you haven't seen it, I do believe it's streaming now. I think you can get it on Amazon right now. So check it out if you want to play along with us next week. I enjoyed it. A lot of my favorite, not my favorite actors, but a lot of actors I like. Anthony Starr, who I love from Banshee. Lizzie Kaplan, who's great in everything. Cleopatra Coleman. Check it out. It's worth it. And in concert with that, we're also going to be talking about, like, what's your favorite movie where the main character's a kid? Your favorite horror movie where the main character's a kid. So do your homework, and we'll see you next week.
Last thoughts, Melissa, before we get out of here?
Watch Film Coven. It's coming out tomorrow, I believe, when this airs. So I had a lot of fun filming the episode and editing it, so please check it out.
I like that. Definitely check that out. Go like our video store page, like our TikTok and Instagram. Melissa's been killing it with all the TikToks and Instagram posts she's been doing, so go check that out. Other than that, buy our shit, and we will see you next week on Why We Love Horror.
Why, she wouldn't even harm a fly. Hurry back. Be sure to